Let's talk about Dharma a little. We've touched upon it briefly in previous conversations, and I personally would like to know more about, where it sort of fits into the bigger scheme of things. And I know that, this is something that.
Well, Dharma is a very interesting topic, and well debated throughout the Vedas by all the sages.
Right.
In etymological terms, where the word comes from, dar is that which sustains you, that which makes you you.
Yeah.
For instance, water. One of its characteristics of water is it's wet. You can't separate the wetness from water. Make it solid, it's ice, but water is wet. That's its characteristic. That's what it'll be.
Mm.
It's not just Dharma isn't something, a moral code that you take on. It's the essence of what you are.
Okay.
Now, you can kind of give dharmas to water and to other substances. Let's talk about it as a human being. The question is, who are you as a human being?
Right.
Dependent on who you think you are.
Think.
Yeah, because it's,
Okay.
You will have an identity.
Right.
And if you think, I am this type of person,
Mm-hmm.
I am male, I am female, I am old, I am young, I'm a parent, I'm a child, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm a worker,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
We take on identities. And according to that identity, there is a service responsibility that matches it, that goes along with it, that you can't separate from it.
Okay.
For instance, if I'm a doctor, the service responsibility is to serve my patients.
Yes.
You cannot separate serving patients from being a doctor.
Right.
So therefore, that you can say the dharma of a doctor is to serve its patients.
I see.
Now that's so you can have a dharma for doctors, and that doesn't affect me. I'm not a doctor. But if I'm something else, and I'm a teacher, my dharma, what can't be separated from teacher, is serving the students.
Mm.
So dharma is always a definition of service, a responsibility to serve, connected with the identity that we have.
Okay.
And we have many identities.
Yeah. So how then is it important? I mean, why would anyone want to know about it, and what's important about it in the
Well,
sort
because
of in the 21st
we're always wondering,
century?
how should I behave in life?
Okay.
What do I do? And if I'm a parent, I serve my children. If I'm
Yeah.
a son,
Right.
I serve my parents.
Yeah.
So whatever that identity is, and there's social, there's work identities, there's gender identities perhaps,
Yeah.
there's age, identities, whatever it is, all these different identities that make me contain all their individual dharmas. So I am a very special mixture of all these dharmas which I try to uphold and, serve each of the constituents correctly. So it's just a way of reminding ourselves that who we are implies that we serve others.
And that's
In
who we
specific
are
ways.
in an external sense.
Yes.
I see.
Now, all those identities are external. In one sense, they're all related to the body and the mind, who we think we are and
But
what the body is.
It's all ego, isn't it?
Well, in one sense it is.
Yeah.
However, so what is beyond the ego
Right.
is the soul itself.
Yeah.
The soul which doesn't change.
Yeah.
So we have all these other dharmas which are temporary, which they shouldn't be given up, because as long as I'm in this body and pay attention to those identities, I should adhere to the dharmas, because they will help me not only live comfortably and happily, but they also feed the soul spiritually, because all the time I am doing the dharma of these, which may seem like material dharmas, I'm actually becoming kind of calmer, more humble, and more in tune with the understanding that I am here to serve and to love. So by following Dharma, you actually make the soul soft and more open to the concept of universal love.
Am I missing an element then here? I mean, does Dharma imply that you're doing what you love? Is that an essential Because, I mean, what you're describing to me, I mean, you know, I'm not getting Dharma of a lawyer. I mean, I'm an ex-lawyer, but, you know, I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
You're no longer... You know,
well, what you said earlier about, you know, you're serving in such a way...
While you were a lawyer, you were very aware that the Dharma of a lawyer...
But I wasn't happy in the way that you're talking about.
Not everyone is happy with the activities, either because, you know, the nature, you know, they don't...
Some would say I was actually going against my soul.
And that can be true of occupations we take on. We may not be physically and mentally and spiritually attuned with what it takes to do that particular role.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't have a Dharma.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do it, you know, we will at least it makes a difficult job at least a little easier. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we should stick with that job.
Okay.
There's another aspect which is, you know, guna and karma. We should actually try and engage in the work that is suitable to our qualities and karma, you know, our natural kind of work proclivities.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
But whatever identity we are taking on, even if it's only in the short term, even if I've taken on an emergency job as a lawyer, because of what circumstances, it's still, I have to recognize that while I am doing that, I have the Dharma to serve the clients.
Yeah.
You know, and at least...
So, let me try and understand this. So, the way you're describing Dharma, what I'm getting is this sort of love of the service associated with one's work identity. Is
I'm
that
not saying... What I'm saying is that Dharma by itself...
So if I'm a dentist, I love my patients. If I'm a doctor, I love my patients.
Serve.
If I'm a lawyer, I love my clients.
Dharma is to do with service. But what I'm saying is...
But all lawyers and dentists and doctors and everyone else just serves their clients, don't they?
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't?
I would say that a lot of the time they're just self-serving.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They're not actually thinking that the whole essence of what I'm doing is service to this other person.
It's other focused rather than self-focused. Okay. Now I understand.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
As Gandhi said, you lose yourself. You find yourself by losing yourself in service.
Yeah.
And that way you find yourself. You know? By doing the material dharmas, it actually allows, as I say, the soul to become more open and softer, open to the idea of love and universal love. But then the question is, if all these other dharmas are related to my body, to my circumstances in life, well, that means they're temporary. That means they're not absolute. So what is absolute dharma? And it can't be related to the material kind of definitions. It can only be related to the absolute nature of the soul, as an eternal being. So that's Sanatan Dharma, the eternal, universal Dharma, which applies to all of us.